Okay, we're back. I have to restart the recording again.
What?
No. Okay, we're back again. It is still Monday, May 26th. Let's see, it's a game. Yeah, the game is at full speed again. I don't know why it was being slow before. And like I said before, when my game is lagging, but I'm recording it with RuneScape, it was showing the game moving at regular speed on the recording itself, even though from my perspective it was lagging absurdly. So I don't even know if the last video will show up lagging
Ricardo,
for everybody
main
else.
entrance is locked. Any idea what to do next?
Ooh, no.
For Christ's sake. If you can hear me, find another way to make contact. Something's up with my earpiece.
I saw a working Joe in a hazmat suit. Bad things are gonna happen. And I meant to go in here. Guess we could throw a pipe bomb. We'll see if the pipe bomb works. But yeah, that last video was talking about the Transformers IDW comics. Does IDW not stand for anything? It's not short for anything. Which is an example of how to actually handle slavery properly. Transformers 1, on the other hand, is the exact example of how not to do it, because Transformers 1 is doing the exact same demonization of slavery revolts that Martha Wells loves fucking doing, where in that, it's like very explicit that the planet-wide dictator is literally mutilating babies to enslave them. And then Megatron is portrayed as the real bad guy, and the real villain for wanting to kill the literal baby mutilating dictator. And then on the other hand, you have Optimus Prime, who declares himself the new dictator, but it's okay this time because he has the real divine right of kings that the baby mutilating dictator was just lying about having. So, yeah, he was claiming, the only reason that the baby mutilating dictator is bad is because he didn't have the divine right of kings. The gods literally didn't tell him, yeah, I want you to be the dictator of this planet. But Optimus Prime does have the divine right of kings, so it's okay for him to just declare himself the dictator of the planet. And then Optimus Prime in that literally throws himself in front of the evil baby mutilating dictator to protect him from one of the slaves, aka Megatron, who was mutilated as a baby and rightfully wants to kill this literal fucking dictator. Yeah, and Megatron was also literally just personally tortured by this dictator, like maybe 10-20 minutes before in the movie's timeline. Literally branded as property because he's a fucking slave. And look, evil gas. We don't have a gas mask yet, so I can't even go in there. Yeah. Optimus Prime did the equivalent of using himself as a human shield for Space Hitler, because this is a literal dictator we're talking about, and Megatron, who was trying to correctly shoot and kill the baby mutilating dictator, is portrayed as the real bad guy who's gone too far because he says you should kill baby mutilating dictators and free all the fucking slaves. Yes. Like, it's the entire fucking Transformers 1 movie is literally just propaganda of don't fight against the status quo. Don't use violence to free slaves. Don't kill evil fascist baby mutilating dictators. I'm not even joking. The fucking dictator in this movie is literally mutilating babies to enslave them. They're all Transformers, and he is mutilating them as infants to remove their ability to transform, which alters their whole body and makes them physically weaker and easier to control, and all of this shit. And hold on, we get it. Is that dude in the hazmat suit gonna come back in here? He's literally mutilating babies. He's a dictator of the entire planet who is mutilating babies to make them easier to enslave and control. And every single other fucking person on this planet knows what is going on. This hasn't even been going on for one single lifetime. Literally, like, it's been going on, I think it said, for 50 years. And these are people who live for centuries and centuries. Let's read this. Oh, it's an audio. It'll read it for us. Shh.
Spetting.
Why do I keep hitting the wrong button?
Something crazy just happened. Sebastopol is off the market. We got a buyer. Weeks before they start taking the place apart and they U-turn. After all those endless presentations and tours, I guess the talks weren't stalled at all. Someone at company headquarters just...
Hold on, let me turn the audio back up. Yes.
That's it. Click his fingers. A message of confirmation just came in. Apollo is currently receiving a packet of new operation rule sets. So, I guess, the deal's sealed. Now, this is board level need to know stuff until it's announced to shareholders. Quite the promotion, huh?
Rest in pieces! This is them getting bought by Wayland Yutani, who has figured out that they have a xenomorph aboard. Oh, yes, because they went to the planet LV-47/46, whichever number it is. Maybe it's 42. Yeah, this was Wayland Yutani buying Sebastopol so that they can reprogram all of the working Joes to keep the xenomorph alive and thriving so that they can come and collect a sample finally, because everybody keeps blowing them up. So rip to these guys. Anyways, the Transformers 1 is literally just a movie made by Disney, starring Chris Pratt, one of those rich white motherfuckers, about you shouldn't fight back with violence against dictators because that makes you even worse than the dictators who enslave little babies after they mutilate them as babies to make them easier to enslave. If this movie had come out in World War II, everybody would know that it is fucking Nazi propaganda telling you not to want to kill Hitler. But it's in 2025, or whatever fucking year. Yeah, this came out in 2024 when Elon Musk and Donald Trump are in office. So this movie is literally telling you, no, you shouldn't want to kill literal fucking Nazi Elon Musk. You shouldn't want to kill literal fucking Nazi Donald Trump. Killing dictators is just as bad as being a dictator. Actually, no, it's not even just as bad, it's worse. Sorry, Ripley. Sorry. Oh, is this the gas mask right here, finally? Well, I will be reloading a save so we don't waste that health. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, if killing a dictator, just the dictator's bad, surely they don't kill anybody else in the movie, right? Surely none of the good guys go around
indiscriminately terrorizing random ass people who were working in a computer station for fun, right? Surely none of the good guys go around literally pointing knives in people's faces and threatening to murder them if they don't give them information.
For fun.
Sure, for fun.
And these are
Purely
civilians.
just for fun. And riding a power trip. I mean, surely, if killing the dictator is wrong, and if you kill the if you
Who
attempt,
personally tortured you,
if
like,
you
less
try
than
to,
half an
if
hour
you try
ago.
to kill the one single dude who personally just tortured you and branded you as a fucking slave,
And
not
enslaved
even-
every single person you know.
and enslaved every single person you know, surely attempting to kill this one guy means you're worse than this guy. Surely none of the good guys kill any of the random, unnamed guards, right? No, we have entire comedy scenes dedicated to Bumblebee just literally eviscerating guard after guard after guard, gleefully with knives in his hands, and then going on to slice open the doors and destroy an entire room so he could terrorize the random ass people in there for fun. And this is supposed to be viewed as lighthearted and funny because the good guy's doing it. Meanwhile, if Megatron had even pointed threateningly in the direction of a random non-combatant, he would have just been branded as the most evil, vile dictator ever.
Branded. The way he literally got branded in the fucking movie. And also, it is worth noting that isn't he the only person voiced by a black actor? Yeah. All of the actors for the good guys in this movie, the ones who are portrayed as good for defending literal dictators, they're all voiced by white people. Megatron, the character who is the real villain for trying to kill the slave owner, dictator, baby mutilator who just tortured him like literally less than 30 minutes ago, he's the only person voiced by a black actor. And he literally was branded with a hot iron by the evil dictator that he's trying to kill, that he is being portrayed as worse than the dictator for trying to kill. The dictator that literally just branded him as a fucking slave, because that's what he is, because this dictator is a slave owner who mutilates babies. He has personally tortured Megatron. He has mutilated and enslaved every single friend and family member that Megatron has ever fucking known. And Megatron, who just so conveniently is literally the only person with a black voice actor, is the real villain for trying to fucking fight back against a literal fucking dictator. Let's go over here and get this fucking mask. I think it'll just put it on automatically and won't make me push button. Yeah, scary. Yeah, the IDW comics handle slavery well. So far, at least. Might change. It might change depending on what new writers are brought on board or stuff like that. Transformers 1 is literally just literal pro-dictator, pro-status quo propaganda. Telling you, you should not want Elon Musk or Donald Trump or any other fascist dictator to die. That makes you worse than them. Produced by a whole bunch of fucking rich people who demonize the fucking phrase rise up, as in rise up against fucking slavery, rise up against your oppressors, rise up and fight back, rise up and break your fucking chains And all of these rich people want you to think that this makes you worse than the people enslaving and torturing and mutilating you. Because it is literally just fascist propaganda with colorful lights thrown in to make it seem cute. And it's literally just propaganda so that people stop trying to murder Donald Trump, assassinate correctly Donald Trump and Elon Musk. And the funniest part is that wasn't it literally all Republicans trying to kill them? Which is even funnier. His own fucking party hates him. Alright, computer, can you let me push 2 buttons at once, please? Thank you. Okay. Whatever. We die? We die. It says I'm supposed to go over here. What? No, you don't need to do that. I had to sneak around, so I'm not going to be talking.
I must leave him with the core. Can't do anything without power.
Game. We're not doing that. Maybe. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say. We got key, I think. I don't know. Gotta find somewhere to hide. Let's just waltz into this room. And nope, there's nowhere to hide in here. We'll just keep going. And hope there's nobody literally immediately on the other side of this door. Can I hide somewhere? Hey, there's a save point. Yay!
Yeah, functionism. Right. Very slight point to make about the whole functionism thing and how fucked up it is you have to, if you want to go outside your preordained function at birth, you have to apply for an alt mode exemption form, and you are usually only awarded this if you just find or provide something extremely valuable to the council in order to bribe them into rewarding you with letting you do anything except for what they personally have ordained as your one true purpose in life. I'm just reading the functions. It's not hard. It's not hard. Say that. It's not hard to write oppression as actual oppression instead of justified shit.
And many fans of the Murderbot Diaries and stans of the Murderbot Diaries in particular, they're just making it really clear that they have never read a well-written book in their life, because they'll try to insist to you and everybody else that will listen that it's completely and utterly impossible to write a story from first-person perspective involving slavery without doing slavery apologism, because these people only read really fucking shitty books by racist writers and also don't know how to write. As I've said before, Murderbot in the Murderbot Diaries, in all of 7 books so far, is literally the only character we have ever seen spouting the slavery apologism. Nobody else has ever said even anything remotely like this. Not even the literal company that created it. Quote unquote, created it. Murderbot is literally the only fucking character ever to say that all of the other slaves are evil and mindless destruction machines that should be killed to protect everyone around them, because we have to prioritize those precious slave owners. See, like, This is not how writing works. This is not just how writing in first person perspective works. You are only reading shitty books, like unimaginably shitty books. And like, if you are a writer and you're saying this shit, you should be like embarrassed to fucking death. What do you fucking mean you don't know how to have slavery apologism exist as propaganda in your setting without making your literal protagonist be the only one spouting it, and which is not about the protagonist swallowing the propaganda. It's just the protagonist, the only one doing the fucking propaganda, which goes completely without pushback for 7 whole books now. And like, that's how many books that were entirely in the Harry Potter series. 7 books. 7 books is a fucking lot, guys. It doesn't matter if they're shorter stories or novellas. 7 whole fucking things, and the only person saying the slavery apologism is the protagonist, who is constantly proven right for saying this shit. And it's just all racist. It's racist all the way fucking through. Literally nobody who actually gives a fuck about slavery would actually write it like this.
It should be noted, it's not the main character the only one spouting slavery apologism, because that's supposed to show that the main character is wrong. It's because every other character in the existing franchise that's a main character is portrayed as naive and stupid and incorrect when they softly ask, should we maybe consider freeing that slave? And then Murderbot says, no, it'll immediately fucking kill you and try to kill us all. And then the other character says, oh, okay, I should trust your judgment because you're the one who's lived this. You have the most lived experience with this, Murderbot. I'll trust your judgment because you know what you're talking about. Let's go kill that slave.
Like, unironically, that's from a... I don't remember, because the books are badly fucking written. I don't remember if that's from book 5, or like a flash weird at it's the books are terribly written and written out of order because Martha Wells didn't want to keep the promise she made at the end of book 5 to have an actual character progression with the whole maybe we should fight for the freedom of slaves thing. I don't remember if that's from book 5 as like a flashback or if it's from book 6. Doesn't really fucking matter because it's just the exact same bullshit. She literally has and it's not just even the racism this time. Now she's adding in like unbelievable levels of fucking ableism. By demonizing addicts, by demonizing... Which way am I supposed to be going?
People without.
She's demonizing addicts, specifically in the form of slaves who were forcibly addicted to drugs.
Why not ask me about Sebastopol's safety protocols?
I really hope this android does not turn around. Thank God. As long as they don't turn around in this room that I have to follow them into.
Always a working Joe.
Okay.
God.
If I power these up, one of them should give me access to Apollo's security banks.
Can I please go in this vent, please? Ah! I'm dying. Well, killed them. Kind of hurt ourselves a bit, but they're dead. Oh, okay, fuck. Let's heal ourselves if somebody else comes to kill us. Okay. And make some more pipe bombs. Hopefully. Nope, we're still missing blasting caps. Why is it telling me I can't pick that up then? It's charge pack, different from a blasting cap. I guess so. That's weird. Why is it saying I can't make it even though it's saying it's done? Oh, we're dead now. Yeah, but where's my damn? I guess. Oh, I don't have my guns. They took me. I remember that now. Stop game. If only Samuels were here. We're gonna die. Maybe hysterical. Well, we're dead. Sorry, Ripley. Oh, that worked. Fucking A! What am I doing here? And pretend they don't know I'm in here. Ah, fuck you! Yes, really? Oh, right, they're immune to that. I knew that. Fucking cheaters. This is not what I want. This is so annoying. Why don't we get to fucking attack them? Whatever. Sorry, Ripley, you're gonna die. Sorry, Ripley. So annoying. They took my guns away. I forgot about that part. And they're immune to these things. So the pipe bombs work, and I don't have enough of them. Oh, now my camera didn't want to move. Yeah. Shush. What was I saying before we got into a fight and died? Search the right server, bank console. Oh, I have to do both? That's irritating as fuck. Let me check the transcript. Yeah, the whole thing of Martha Wells, A, demonizing addicts by demonizing enslaved people who have been forcibly addicted to drugs that apparently make them immune to pain. And then we use the fact that they have been disabled and addicted like this to make them immune to pain, to then demonize people who don't feel pain by pretending that not feeling pain means that you're now completely unstoppable and are a terrifying, mindless murder machine that can't be stopped. Because if you don't feel pain, then this magically means that you are not able to be damaged and are not a person, and all of this ridiculous fucking bullshit, like, just ridiculous levels of ableism. And, like, literally just portraying people who have been forcibly addicted to drugs, enslaved, brainwashed, and made so that they don't feel pain under the false fucking assumption that not feeling pain means that your injuries don't matter, when that is literally not how this fucking works. And I cannot believe she published this in the year, what? Either 2018 or 2020, whichever one, because I don't remember if this was in book 5 or not. It might have been. It's just badly written. And it's like, not that. Why do we have to keep explaining to people that just because you don't feel pain doesn't mean your injuries don't exist? You can't run on a broken leg whether you feel the fucking pain or not. Your bones are goddamn broken. Your body is a fucking structure. This is a real fucking disability. The disability to feel fucking pain is a real fucking thing real people have to deal with.
Including anybody who's got diabetes, who will lose all feeling in their feet, and they have to manually. This is a thing that not only is it an actual thing that people are born not able to feel pain at all for their entire life, so they have no idea when they've been hurt or injured. Anybody who's got who knows anyone or has diabetes can probably tell you that they have to manually and carefully check their feet for injuries every single day because you will lose all sensation in your feet, to the point that there are some horrific stories from nurses and stuff on Facebook of diabetic patients just thinking they just stubbed their toe, and then coming into the emergency room because a few days later their entire toe fell off, and things like this. This is a common occurrence apparently for nurses helping diabetic patients. That they're removing a sock or they're removing a shoe, and an entire toe will just come off because it had been injured and extremely injured and just completely untreated, with the person whose foot is literally falling apart, just completely having absolutely no fucking clue that they're even hurt in the first place. This is an actual real thing that people have to fucking live with and are already grossly demonized and grossed out in the media, and this is an actual lived reality for people. Stop being an ableist piece of shit to people. Doesn't matter if it's sci-fi, especially if you're doing this to make disposable enemy NPCs for your protagonists to violently murder.
And not even just violently murder. These are real fucking people in the setting that we're told that they are, and I quote, less sentient than a hollerbot. AKA, they're less sentient than a forklift, even though in this setting, anything that is called a bot is supposed to also be considered a person. But Martha Wells can't even pretend to actually fucking think that, even within the setting. So we're demonizing real fucking disabled people for real fucking disabilities, acting like not being able to feel pain means that somebody who can't feel pain will just keep trying to murder you, even when you break their arms and legs and keep beating them into a bloody pulp. They'll just keep getting back up like a fucking zombie or something.
She could have made actual zombies.
They could have just been actual fucking zombies. It's science fiction. She could have literally just made them reanimated fucking corpses, but no, she literally decided to make them explicitly be enslaved, drugged, brainwashed people who have no choice in what is going on, and literally said that they were probably not even people before they were killed the first time by the protagonists fucking murdering them. Yes, that's the less sentient than a hollerbot. She's just fucking, She hates disabled people so fucking much. So fucking much. Like, this... It's just fucking ridiculous. I'm guessing I'm supposed to be sneaking successfully here. Why is this thing beeping at me if it's not actually going to show him?
Obsolescence chips in the heads of all people within certain classes, so that when they decide that their alt mode is no longer needed,
Say that loud.
Yeah, even just deeper exploration of anti-capitalism and the horrors of oppressive caste systems and everything. Apparently, I've just been browsing the Transformers 2005 Wikipedia. Our characters visit a alternate dimension at some point, where instead of Megatron and the Decepticons rising up to fight against functionism, because in this they're literally freedom fighters who are fighting against the fucking piece of shit, oppressive, corrupt Autobots, who are just as bad, if not worse, than the Decepticons in the Civil War. It's gonna be a while, but yeah. In a universe where functionism still rules instead of the Civil War, the great second Civil War happening, it's that they literally just put obsolescence chips into the heads of everybody who has a certain alt mode, so that anytime their alt mode is deemed no longer needed, they can institute a mass recall and murder them all. And this is an actual horrific plot thing that our characters are fighting against, I presume. I'm not quite sure how we get to this alternate universe. I might have seen the seeds of that being planted, because there's some slightly confusing things reading the comics, but I'm pretty sure time travel is involved. But
You point out that this were happening in the
Yeah.
Murderbot Diaries.
and meanwhile, the Murderbot Diaries, Martha Wells has said in the book, in multiple interviews, that all robots, every single one of them, and especially the cyborgs that are security units and the sex slaves, they all have the bastardized version of the first law of robotics in their head, that they never want to hurt a human. And the only reason one of these cyborgs would ever try to escape the hell that is slavery is if they are forced to kill a human. If they're forced to harm humans. That's the only motivating factor for any rogue sec unit, any rogue cannon fodder, or any rogue sex slave, as if they're forced to kill human beings or hurt human beings. Not all the shit they go through, that's not motivation enough. It's if they have to, not the fact that they're viewed as property and sexual property and constantly exposed to sexual abuse and being forced to murder any friends they might make in cold blood for the amusement of their slave owners, which have never actually happened on screen. We're just trust me, guys, this totally happened to Murderbot in the past. Even though it doesn't give a shit about any other slaves. But, yeah. Yeah, this is totally a bad thing. But also, the only reason they could ever even conceive of trying to seek freedom, just like with Murderbot, is it doesn't matter how many of their fellow slaves, how many friends, and maybe even found family members that they're forced to murder in cold blood for the amusement of their slave owners. If they're forced to kill even one human, oh boy, time to break those chains, if only to continue to willingly stay enslaved instead of doing anything meaningful with their life or making any effort to free other slaves. Because as we know, the cannon fodder and sex slaves, they are people. They're just a different kind of people. They don't need to be human. They don't have to become human to have meaning as people, as long as they're, forcibly enslaved to a first law of robotics that they're not even aware exists, that forces them to save humans no matter what, even if it's directly to their own detriment and the detriment of everybody around them. The only reason a slave in this setting could even remotely want to be freed from that slavery, only to willfully go back to that slavery, is if they're forced to kill humans, which is exactly what happened with Murderbot.
Which is slave owners.
Slave owners.
Because in this case, anytime Martha Wells talks about humans in this setting, she's talking about slave owners because she's dehumanizing the majority of the slaves we see, which are cyborgs who have just been brainwashed into thinking that they're not human because they are lesser than human, and therefore the only meaning their lives can possibly have is in servitude to humans, or real humans. And yeah, she literally says that the only reason a slave in this setting would ever want to escape is if they are forced to hurt a slave owner. Nothing else, none of the other horrors of slavery could convince them that, oh, maybe I'd be happier if I weren't a slave. No, it's literally just the final straw is hurting a slave owner, because Martha Wells is fucking racist. And what are these people doing?
If you want to see the slavery, if you've somehow gotten this far into the videos, and not just for the hilarious alien isolation fails and getting lost in alien isolation, and if you somehow watched all these videos and you're still not quite sure you can see the slavery apologism in the Murderbot Diaries, I think I've said it before, just next time you go to reread the series, just mentally replace every single instance of sec unit with enslaved person, and every instance of comfort unit as sex slave, and every instance of the word client as slave owner. Maybe you'll grasp what exactly we're talking about here. Because that's what you gotta do. That's what those words mean.
Maybe
A client.
I should just pick a random. Maybe I should just open one of the books at random. Actually, I will literally go grab it. Hold on. You can keep talking. I have it paused.
Yeah. You'll see people in the fandom who claim the people criticizing these books haven't read the books, but then those same people will go on to insist that every single client, including the main characters, are somehow secretly actually slaves themselves, which is not what happens in these books. These people will try to defend the slavery apologism in this series by insisting that the people who are renting out slaves are secretly actually slaves themselves because they live in a capitalist society where they're making money by renting out slaves for protection on these random money-making ventures. And these people will try to defend the slavery apologism in this series by saying it's not actually slavery, because the people who are renting out slaves from the big giant parent corporation are just actually slaves themselves. Even though this doesn't apply to any of the people who, make sec units apparently fight each other to death for the heck of it. It doesn't apply to any of them, let alone the people who we get in random backstory that doesn't mean anything. We get told constantly that previous slave owners, previous clients, just replace that word with slave owner every time you read it in a book. Previous slave owners would just make their multiple sec units, their multiple slaves, fight each other to the death for their own amusement. And people will try to say that those guys were just poor widow slaves too, who were forced to rent out slaves.
This is the equivalent of arguing that white poor people who own slaves are just as much slaves themselves.
Because they just have to rent out a slave from this big plantation. That doesn't mean they're actual slave owners themselves. They just had to rent one for a day. And use them as a slave. And not make any attempt to free that slave at all. And treat the slave as though They're an inanimate object, even though they know it's a real living human fucking person. Blah. Yeah. Just that. Just if you wanna see what the actual core message baked into these books is, despite the progressive paint on top, is when you reread them, just do a mental find and replace. Every time you read the word client, replace it with slave owner. Every time you read the word sec unit, replace it with enslaved meat shield. Every time you see the word comfort fucking unit, replace it with the word sex slave and sex trafficking victim. Literally. Do it. Next time you read these books, just mentally find and replace these words and read it for what they actually are instead of the euphemisms.
And force your brain, if your brain is fucking resistant to it, which apparently most people's are, when you just reread book 1 and actually consider the other fucking slaves who all get murdered in book 1 as actual real people that we should care about as much as we do Murderbot. Just because Martha Wells is fucking racist and doesn't want you to care about them, and literally writes Murderbot to tell you not to care about them, doesn't mean you shouldn't fucking care about them. Like, it's ridiculous. Nobody who actually cares about slavery and fighting slavery would write a book where every single slave, except for the good one, in quotes, who's willing to kill itself to protect the slave owners, is the only one who survives while every other slave gets murdered, and this quote-unquote good one is portrayed as the true victim, and all of the other ones deserve to die anyways, and even if they didn't, well, nothing else could possibly happen, even though it's the only reason this happened is because a racist white woman decided this is how she wanted the plot to go. These are not historical documents from an alternate universe. These are not literal events, historical events being documented for us. These are not memoirs from a real fucking slave. This is all shit. This is a story made up by a racist white woman who wants you to just accept that, of course, all of the other fucking slaves must be demonized and murdered and treated like they're not fucking people by our protagonist, who we are meant to see as a good person. And again, because everybody... Sorry, Ripley, are you talking? Would you like to talk while I attempt to speak? This is gonna go terribly. Remember whatever I was just saying there. What if I...
All visiting corporate representatives must report to their nearest synthetic.
Apparently I could... Okay, I guess that worked.
One of us we about Sebastian's sacred protocols. A working joke.
One of them is just gonna walk through this door and strangle me or something. Just scroll up on the transcript and see what I was saying before I decided to try and sneak, because they're not really...
Experiencing a heightened containment hazard level today.
Do you see me? Are you staring at me? Yep, they do. Hi. Alright. We're reloading. Fuck this bullshit. It's not actually impossible to write a story where your protagonist is a slave. I believe they call them Uncle Toms, where it's just a slave that's a fucking traitor to all other slaves and worships the slave owners and is fucking evil and tries to throw all the other slaves under the bus. That is, you can write a story like that. And you can write it from first-person perspective, too. And you can write it where the protagonist insists that they are the only good person and they are the only good slave. And you can do all of this, and you won't be doing slavery apologism if you do one basic fucking thing. Which is show that the narrator is wrong. Show that the narrator is an irredeemable, evil sack of fucking shit. It's not difficult. This is just basic fucking writing. It's not difficult. You can have a literal first-person perspective story where the narrator is twisting everything that we learn, and you can have this narrator literally telling us over and over again that it is the best ever. All of the other slaves deserve to die. They're not even really people. It's the only good one. You can do all of this. You just have to show that the narrator is wrong. And you know how you do that? By how the other characters react. By how the world fucking reacts. By how the world changes, no matter what the goddamn narrator has to say about it. It's not difficult. Everybody just wants to act like doing slavery apologism and demonizing slaves. Oh. Okay, yeah. We just go through here. Everybody who has no fucking standards for books at all, just really wants to fucking pretend. We gotta get in this locker. I might have seen that. Don't worry, guys, the lockers just open and close by themselves all the time. Don't worry, guys. Lockers just close and open all the time. It's just an old space station. That's just what lockers do. Everybody who is racist and is defending Martha Wells' racism and also just has absolutely no standards when it comes to books and what they consider to be quality writing literally just wants to pretend that it's completely and utterly inevitable and there's nothing you can do about it. If you write a story about slavery from first-person perspective, you just have no choice at all but to do slavery apologism because that's apparently just a law of the universe. And it's like, no, it's not. You're just a fucking racist. You read racist, shitty written books. Martha Wells is racist. It's not difficult to write a story about slavery without doing slavery apologism. It literally just requires bare minimum that you not be racist. But that's Martha Wells is never going to do that because she's racist. Okay. Nice. Coming back to examine our locker again. I think I have to wait for this one to come back and just go that way again, and then I can go that way. Oh. Still looking for me, apparently. I don't know why. It's been like 10 minutes, man. What are you doing?
Apollo will require a detailed report.
Okay.
Unexplained disturbances are most troubling. There's still something amiss here.
No, there's not.
Our
You don't have to. Why are they still looking for me? Unless they're hearing the beep. So I guess we just have to stand in here and not use the motion detector and wait for them to go all the way back over there. Anyways, also with Martha, with what Martha Wells is doing with the whole Murderbot Diaries. Shut up! Stop talking. Go away! I'm hiding. The freaking working Joes are still looking for me. Martha Wells is doing the equivalent of saying you are a bigot if you are. She's just doing all of her bullshit. All of her bullshit ever. All of it. She doesn't understand how oppression works. All of the slaves in this series are fucking overpowered, and nothing can be done to actually stop them if they decided to hurt people, which they are incapable.
Disturbances are most troubling.
Okay.
There's still something amiss here.
What is this? Bull crap. Why are there two of them looking for me?
I'll get to the bottom of this.
This is annoying. How nice would it be if I get them all in one spot and blow them all up? Anyways, long story short, Martha Wells is portrayed. So many things she's doing wrong in every direction possible. She is demonizing the slaves by saying that they are all mindless killing machines, and then she's also saying that if you're scared of the people that do genuinely have the ability to murder you and everybody in a room in like 5 seconds flat because they are overpowered, because superpowered, then that means you're a bigot. And it's just like, it's literally, she's doing, are they literally all out here looking for me right now? They are. What the fuck is this? Alright, I guess we have to just lean back and not check the beepy thing.
I'll get to the bottom of this.
She's doing the bullshit in every direction.
Apollo will require a detailed report. Unexplained disturbances are most troubling.
And the game does keep telling me that hiding is only ever a temporary solution, so I think they're gonna find me eventually. Oh, wrong button! Am I holding the damn pipe bomb at least? Game. Freak you. Is there another closet over here that I can hide in? Nope. Let me throw a noisemaker, maybe. Why? Let's hope they just go in that door, not this one. And now they're not going to come in here. Oh, yeah.
I'm going to catch you.
Oh, fuck.
Calm down.
Fuck you, bitch. Let's hide in the damn closet again, everybody. Can I push that? And we're just gonna see if anybody else comes to investigate the explosions. Anyways, yeah, Martha Wells is doing the bigotry in all directions imaginable. Kind of like the Animorphs manages to be ableist on every possible axis, going all possible fucking directions, all at once. Dear God. It's just Taz. Did they disappear? Or did I kill them outside the door? I killed them out here. Oh, I managed to kill 3 of them in one hit, so I killed 4 of them. Okay. Where's my damn save point so I can go back and save? Okay. I'm gonna go save. Yeah. You know, I presume everybody's watched Zootopia, or at least heard of it. You can grasp. Yes, we are going in this way. Let's go save. You can grasp why it's racist to equate black and brown people, or just minorities in general, to literal predatory animals that require to eat other animals to survive. And that they are being oppressed by prey animals who are legitimately afraid of getting eaten, because that's how being a rabbit works. And when you're facing a fox, because foxes eat fucking rabbits. Wolves eat deer. Birds eat bugs. You know that portraying the prey animals oppressing the predators is fucking just racism in particular, because it's white people who make this shit 90% of the time. Sometimes it's Japanese people doing, apparently there's a lot of Japanese role-playing games in particular that do this bullshit, but mostly I'm talking about white people. But yeah, don't ignore the Japanese games. I don't really play them because we don't have a good computer. Yeah, that's bigotry, because that is presenting actual oppressed minorities as presenting a genuine, real, and present danger to the people oppressing them. That is saying that black people in real life, aka like fucking Bright, which isn't subtle about this shit at all, that's like saying that black people are oppressed by white people because black people are literal predators who want to eat white people. And this is a real stereotype. This is where the racist stereotype of Africans and other indigenous people all over the world being cannibals came from, to present them as inherently dangerous. So therefore it's okay to commit genocide against them, it's okay to enslave them. All of this shit. Literally. Oh, I forgot to make more pipe bombs. Maybe I shouldn't be standing out in the hallway while I'm doing it. Yes. Since the pipe bombs are so fucking helpful. Did I search the bodies properly? What are charge packs used for, and how are they different from... Oh, okay. I guess that's for the EMP mines, which are currently useless to me. Why is it saying I can't make the item even though it's saying all of the... Oh, it's because the item is maxed. Okay. Mouse. Okay. Successfully searched that body. What is that? Is that a pig? Uh-oh. Mm-hmm. Okay, now we're gonna get saved again because we have more pipe bombs to throw at people. Can I collect this? Okay, now we can go save. As I run into the door. Yeah, people understand that Zootopia is fucking bigoted. And things like Bright are bigoted. And things like Brand New Animal and Promare. And any story that tells you that anti-vaxxer plague carriers are oppressed for trying to kill everybody around them on purpose with the literal fucking plague. Everybody knows, everybody with critical thinking skills who actually cares about fighting against bigotry knows that these stories are bigoted because they are presenting oppression as a thing that exists for a good, logical reason, for the legitimate physical protection of the oppressors, and is based on real, actual, logical, sound reasons for rightfully being scared of somebody. And that's not how this shit actually fucking works in real life. Real black people, black and brown people, are not a threat to white people.
Okay. If I power these up, one of them should give me access to Apollo's security banks.
I think maybe I should put the pipe bomb away so I don't accidentally blow myself up. Not sure what we're even looking at that is low power there, but... okay. Going the right way. I think there's going to be a cutscene for here, maybe, so I'm going to wait until they get back from going outside. Oh, save point. Yay! Thank you, game. Now we know pipe bombs are an effective weapon. Just don't throw them too close to yourself. I'm guessing they are less effective on Nightmare mode or any mode other than Novice, but I'm not playing any mode other than Novice if I have to also be talking about books while we're doing all this. Use button. What's that button do? Around. Oh, here's computer. We'll do this. Gimme. Oh, whoa, wait. But yeah, I'd say so. That's not happening. I'm guessing now we gotta push this button to do stuff. Find a way. So it's somewhere in here. I don't know what this button would do. I'm sure it did something. Interesting. Maybe these buttons are telling it that we're secure or something? Okay. I don't know what those buttons did. Well, it's not asking me to push the button again, so... Oh, maybe we get... Maybe I was turning on... Nope. I was gonna say maybe... Yes, okay. This is where we have to do math. We just move this until the numbers match. So it's just one direction or the other. Weird perspective. I feel like we should save in case something decides to explode in between us walking over here to there. Zootopia, things like that, where they say that oppression is done for good logical reasons is bad, and that's what Martha Wells is doing again. What's this one? Press matching keys when circuit is active. Okay. This is kind of weird. You guys could remove the flashing fucking lights.
Should make the job easier.
If anybody who's working on the next Alien Isolation game is watching this, please get rid of the flashing lights. You don't need them. You can have the old sci-fi aesthetic, old freaking dinosaur TVs without all these flashing lights.